Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
This is a comic book talk show where we chat about the comic books that came out the past week, and then we recommend comics coming out this week that we think you should buy. We also talk about the news in the comic book world. There's a bunch of things that came out in both the comic book and pop culture spectrum. I mention it because we're Comic Pop here on ComicPop Returns, actually.
Yes.
But that pop there isn't just for sensationalism. It also encapsulates all the pop culture stuff that might also be tangentially related to comic books.
Yeah.
I cite two actual things. The first of which is the Ghostbusters 4 trailer, and also Masters of the Universe Revelation. We're not really going to get into the Ghostbusters trailer because I know you didn't see it, but it's like it's out. It came out, and I saw it, and I love it, and I'm excited. Even though everyone's like mad about Ghostbusters being a franchise, even though it's always been a franchise since like 1984. I'm not here to complain about that now. I don't care. I like Ghostbusters, so I'm here for it. We'll talk more in depth about the trailer maybe some other day. But in the meantime, I'm just hyped for it. I should mention, thank you, that this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live here right now, and if you want to catch the show live, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications, and you'll know when we do go live, which is, of course, on Mondays, closer to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday. So come by and check out the show live, because if you do, you might be one of the few people who has an opportunity to sponsor today's show and keep the riffraff out, as a make it our show. So if you want to do so, you can always do so by using super chats, by asking a question or comment. We'll read it here on the show. Or if you're watching the show after the fact, you could still do the same thing by using super thanks, but you don't have to do that. There's no look, I don't make up these terrible terms for things, but yeah, if you wanted to do that, you could, and it would differentiate your comment from all the other comments. It would say something like, I sponsored today's show, even though I wasn't there live. And here's my comment I want you to read. And by the way, I always read those comments. I read most of the comments, if not all of them, but I also give a special thanks to those people who super thanks as well. I figure, well, if they're super thanking, I guess I should super thank them as well.
There you go.
Yeah. I should also super thank our friend over at Kyle Higgins' place with the Massive Verse for shooting us over this card game. The fighting card game for Radiant Black and the Massive Verse. It's a whole ass card game dedicated to this universe that allows you to play 2-player games between 5 and 15 minutes long. If you're interested, you can check out this from Solus Entertainment. It's available for sale, and it's neat. I think it's really cool that it's like, this whole independent comic book universe is catching like wildfire, cartoons, etc. So yeah. Thanks to the Massive Verse for shooting us over a copy of this. It's still sealed in box, a mint in box, because I haven't had 5 to 15 minutes to actually play this game yet. But check it out anyway. It's fun. Apparently, it's just a quick drop-in, drop-out kind of fighting game.
I like that.
Which I really appreciate, because usually if I'm playing a card game, I know I'm in it for the long haul.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, geez, I'm going to play this game for like 2 hours. But no, not with this. A Massive Verse fighting card game.
I was like, can I position it well? It's not bad.
There you go.
Pretty proud of myself for that one,
right?
Everybody.
In the news world, anything that you came across that you wanted to talk about before I get into the topic that I have at my fingertips?
No, I just saw there was like a little tiny interview with that Ultimate X-Men.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I just like Peach Momoko.
You love Peach Momoko.
I like her style.
Met her twice now.
I did. She just seems like such a nice person, just a very pleasant human being. So, oh, my mic's off. Let's talk over here.
There you go.
All right. I'm Tiffany. At least I didn't, say too much. So
it's true. It's true.
It's pretty quiet at the beginning. Anyway, yeah, so Peach Momoko, Ultimate Universe. I like her as an artist. I like her as a person, seemingly. I don't know her. I've met her twice.
Yeah, she's been a lovely person to interact with, but also you like her work.
Yeah. Did a little interview just about like the upcoming Ultimate X-Men, and just it was very surface level, which I appreciate. I'm not looking for spoilers for this.
No,
I just want to read the product as it comes out. But admittedly, Peach has not really been doing monthly books. So
no.
I'm interested to see if she how she takes to the pace.
Yeah.
to the pacing of having a monthly book, being the writer and the artist on it.
Mm-hmm.
It will, of course, be focused on armor. We knew that already, along with another character who is a Japanese girl who is a big fan of Storm. So it's kind of like, okay, I already feel a kinship with you because I too am a fan of Storm.
Yes.
So at least I'm part of those criteria. I'm with you on that. But yeah, I appreciated her interview. She was very kind. Clearly, she's like, I don't know everything about X-Men.
Right, she was very forthcoming about.
She's like, but like, she did her research when it came to doing Demon Days, and she's interested in being part of this world. And the fact that like she's not basing this apparently off of any previous run was a reason that Hickman wanted her.
Yeah.
He wanted her to come in and just do something different. And so I think that's what we're going to get. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, very different X-Men. People who have preconceived ideas about X-Men in this universe, I would throw them away. This is going to be something else.
I don't know if we're going to get anything like that. Like, how like with like, it's the Marvel Universe, but it's, prehistoric, or it's Marvel Universe in 1602, or it's Marvel Universe or whatever. Like, it tends to be relying on you having some preconceived knowledge of those characters, and I feel like in this it might not. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, no matter what, I'm grabbing it. So hooray!
Yeah,
so you can check out that interview if you want. But like I said, there's not much to it. It's very surface level because
you read that on Adventures in Poor Taste, I assume.
I did, in fact, do that.
Nice. Well, I read a more or less like an excerpt from a podcast, which one Simon Spurrier, creator you're a very big fan of. I myself am a fan of his as well, but not to the degree you are. He came on our show and chatted a lot, and he was also on another podcast, specifically the Sketched podcast, where he revealed some kind of like a little bit of tea about
he was spilling it.
He was spilling a little bit of tea about about sales figures and about like who's privy to them. And he doesn't speak to any other publisher outside of Marvel. He's speaking specifically about the fact that like apparently most writers, if not editors at Marvel, are completely unaware of how well their books sell. And so as a result, they are not able to make decisions around sales because they're not privy to those numbers, which I think is a unique practice pretty much limited to Marvel at this point. I'm fairly sure that a lot of different creators, especially top creators, are privy to numbers at the sales level because they need to know, because it also results in things like bonuses. It results in things like accolades or, at the very least, negotiation tactics. I could see why Marvel would withhold them because Marvel's notoriously not, creator friendly. But
I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I think it bothers me.
I think it's a negative. Overall.
It's a negative. Oh yeah.
But there could have been in like an alternate universe where,
or like 35 years ago, this might not have been as Machiavellian as you might think.
Yeah. But like if you think about it, there is something interesting where there are no social media, and places for creators to be harassed into changing things.
Right.
But like there is something interesting about the idea of being like, don't worry about what the numbers are, tell your story.
Yes.
I don't think that's where they're coming from.
Absolutely not.
If that was the practice, there's something really cool about that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That said,
right. That said, they don't. They do make decisions based on sales, and I know that they've said things like, "Don't worry about it," only to find out that like the rug's getting pulled out from under them. Like if the publisher is going to make decisions based on sales, the creator should be aware of their impact. And they can't. I mean, I appreciate living or working, creating in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Being like, here is what I'm doing, regardless of what the scuttlebutt is about, my direction. Maybe letters, but for the most part, social media, again, it's like it's a sensationalized, echo chamber that doesn't necessarily determine how well a book is doing or how impactful you as a creator are.
Yeah.
But sales are the great equalizer. It is one way of being able to determine a book is successful. A book is reaching the audience. The audience is accepting the book. It's absolutely barbaric. It's an old, antiquated, typically Marvel practice of making sure that, and especially, so I understand, not sympathize, but I understand a position of Marvel being like, keep the creators in the dark. Only we can keep, but the editors too. Now, that being said, of course, we all know that only like 2 editors work at Marvel, but I digress.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
at least both of them should know. I mean, just
Yeah.
by accident, they should be aware of how their books are
Right,
selling.
right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I trust Cy to share that information since he has no vested interest in lying or
Right.
keeping that to himself. And hopefully that kind of conversation, this kind of conversation, is making a few people upset.
Right.
If you're in the bullpen at Marvel and you feel like, hey, I suspect I'm being kept in the dark about this. Yeah, you are. And for those who might know they're being kept in the dark, but are thinking to themselves, I think is that crappy? Like, is that lousy? Yeah, no, it is. You should be outraged and you should want to know.
So I know that Cy is headed back over to DC.
Oh yeah, he's leaving.
So what you're telling me is here, I'm not going to be getting a Cy Spurrier or Doctor Strange anytime soon.
Doesn't look like you're getting that anytime soon. No, I wouldn't anticipate it unless unless Cy was huge, got really, really big, really, really fast, and DC screwed him over.
I think he's pretty huge.
Yes, he's a hugely great creator,
yes.
but
no, but that's really like, yeah. And again, I know it's like, if it were a different time and different circumstances surrounding it, there could be some altruistic reason for doing it, but clearly that's not what's happening.
Hell no.
Here. So that sucks. That's no way to work.
Nope, I agree.
That's no way to work. But that doesn't, it doesn't help either then, is because, like, let's say your numbers are tanking and therefore you don't get a chance to help the book, and then you're off the book and you're like, why am I off the book?
Yeah. Or if I had known that the numbers were heading in this trajectory, I might have wrapped up my story a little cleaner instead of being like, oh no, I have to wrap up now or I'm ending on a cliffhanger.
Right. It's like working for any company and then being fired for something, and you're like, well, why am I being fired? And they're like, oh, for these reasons. Like, I didn't know that was
why didn't you have a meeting with me at any point?
Why didn't you tell me so that I could make adjustments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, no, it is the equivalent of like of having a policy internally about not sharing your salary with each other. It's like, why?
Right.
Well, because then you might all catch wise to how we're screwing you. That's why. I mean, because it's just not polite. It's not polite for a writer or artist duo to know what the financial impact on the company is for their creative output. Insane.
Yeah, I agree.
Drew Mason or Markham says, love the channel. Thank you very much, Drew.
Oh, thank you.
Gave my little brother Mr. Miracle to get him into comics. Nice. Now we're both going to MegaCon, and I couldn't be more excited.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's great. Have fun. It's this weekend. Hulkzilla, happy Monday. It's been a good first month of the year, and you guys played a huge part in that. Best wishes. Thank you very much, Hulkzilla. Glad we could be a part of it.
Yeah, so sweet. Thank you.
YC Goosey, hey y'all. Hope that Stars and Garters got you as much as it got me. ComicPop Woo also would love to hear your thoughts on the resurrection of Magneto. Well, we will see what Tiffany thinks about that in a minute. Bear Farmer, ComicPop Woo, what do you think about Saber-tooth's war off jump? Just caught up with on my X-Men, and it almost feels like it's interrupting the story I want.
Yeah, no, 100%. The story you want is probably now going on in X-Force, and honestly, X-Force this week, I'm trying to piece together a timeline in this. We're going to probably need a few more issues of it to piece together when this is happening comparatively to what's going on in Wolverine with the Saber-tooth war, but I totally agree.
Yep.
And I do have a feeling a lot of it has to do with just
who's leaving the book,
or like what might be coming next, since we're not 100% where Krakoa or where the mutants and X-Men will land post Krakoa. It might just be this is their opportunity.
Yeah.
So I get it, but at the same time, I kind of wish they had done it not connected.
Absolutely. Like, or kept it. Well, I mean, it is kind of separate. Like, it doesn't seem to be really directly connected with Fall of X.
But it is because of its location. Like, that first issue isn't like, there's no reason any of the things would have happened in that issue without the Fall of X. So, I feel like there were other ways to do it. But I also don't know the standings over there, so I don't want to pretend like I'm just like I could have done it better. It's just I have a feeling it's just what they had to deal with.
Yep. And Bryce Harriet, hi, love your episodes. Thanks for everything. Thank you, Bryce.
Thank you, Bryce. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's funny. The Saber-tooth War is actually, for me, I think it's a proving ground, or at least, it's a proving ground for what Marvel is dabbling in something they did 30 years ago, which was the Max line. Remember how Marvel was like, oh, we're going to deal with like unrated or more mature rated comic books. They're doing that again with Blood Hunt, with the upcoming Jed MacKay, Pepe Larraz, Blade vampire-centric event that's happening.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, apparently Jed MacKay is writing an event. That's right. Starring Blade and vampires and Moon Knight and more. It is essentially everything that he was doing with Moon Knight and et al. In one big event with Pepe Larraz on art. But they are apparently releasing unrated versions of the issues separately from the issues. So you'll get your like Marvel Comics Expectations comic of Blood Hunt, and then you can buy a different book that is the R-rated version with more grotesqueries and so forth. Which I was like, interesting to me. If it is pushing the genre and the format and the art forward, if it is like, if this is the only way we can get Marvel to try that thing they tried 30 years ago, then I say, all the power to it. It is seemingly a cash grab, Let's see if we can get them to buy 2 different versions of the same comic.
Yes and no. I mean, for them, if they're trying to play ball with the brick and mortars, it makes sense for them to want to do this. Where it's like you got to go into the store or like have it pre-order. I don't know how they're going to handle it.
Yeah,
because it's not going to be much of a ban if it's just on the shelf.
Well, no,
and anyone can buy it.
Right. Well, I guess, and I think it is.
Unless they're checking IDs.
Well, no, the cover's going to have a special thing on it that so like the retailer will have discretion.
Sure.
Or at least that's the expectation.
Okay.
But yeah. Interesting idea. Just I saw that and I was like, I'll mention that to Tiffany.
Yeah.
But never mind that. We're here to talk about comic books.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. That's why I'm talking about Green Arrow #8 from Joshua Williamson and Phil Hester. Nice. Phil Hester back on the character, although he never really left. He was here doing a couple of fill-ins or flashbacks in this current series. Onomatopoeia has returned to kill the Arrow family, or at the very least, Ollie and his son.
I both like and don't like this cover all at the same time.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
It is very evocative of the old Kevin Smith Phil Hester run, which saw the creation of Onomatopoeia.
Sure.
I love that this appearance of Onomatopoeia does not contradict, nor does it condone the use of that character by other creators and other people's character books that haven't been finished in 15, 20 years. But this is great. It's a real true homecoming. It's really, obviously we know that Phil Hester's still got the chops, can still roll with the big boys. He is one of the big boys. He's killing it. And the book looks great. Basically Ollie is dead. They killed Green Arrow. And what was it? Onomatopoeia is the assassin. And of course, I think you could see where it's going. And so I don't want to spoil too much for it, but the book opens with the death of Green Arrow. And it's just a really fun issue, and it ties directly in with the Amanda Waller plot that seemingly only Josh is playing with. I believe it came up also in Beast War, so at least the people who are involved at the top levels are implementing this. Like, Amanda Waller has a problem with the DC universe and superheroes specifically, but
change.
I know, but more aggressively in this one.
Okay.
Like, we find out that like she has a hit on superheroes, and she's like, "There's a bounty on superheroes, and if you take the bounty, no Suicide Squad stuff. Like, you get paid, or if you're in jail, you get out. End of story. For every hero you kill, you get a benefit from Waller." And it's just like, and no one has taken the bait because they all think it's a double cross.
Right.
Except for Onomatopoeia, who's like, all right.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm a nut job. I was worried we were going to see Onomatopoeia's face, but I think we do anyway. Not in this, but another book. Yeah. But it's a fun book. If you're not reading Green Arrow, I dig it. The way that Benny the Comic Historian salivates over the Green Lantern book, I myself find the Green Arrow book equally fun and niche. So it's worth checking out. What about you, Tiffy?
That's a good question. I don't know where to start. I read let's do Gods. I did Gods #4 this week.
Sweet.
This is Hickman and Skeety.
Yes.
On art. Well, Hickman on writing and Skeety on art.
Naturally.
We didn't get a chance to talk about issue 3, but I did read issue 3 and then I read issue 4 in that order.
Naturally. That's good.
But listen, do I love this book? Absolutely. Is part of the reason I love this book is Doctor Strange has been in all the issues? Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes. But I also do like Win. I like the world that's being built here. I like the fact that Hickman is just adding.
Right.
And
that's what he does.
But he's also pulling things. You know what I mean? He's like, let's use this, let's use that. Let's you know what I mean? There's a lot to it.
I bet you never knew about this thing you already knew about.
Well, it's some of that. It's some of him just, like fleshing some things out. And honestly, I'm not going to pretend like I fully understand where we're going with this, because there's no
Sometimes
point.
it's fun to just be on the ride.
It's fun to just just enjoy the book, enjoy the journey. And I think I'm gonna have a better idea of it when I have it all together. That's always the way. But there's just so much in this book that I love. The writing is so tight, even when you're like maybe a little over your head and you're like, I don't know what's happening, and I'm just hanging on until I get to something that I do get. It doesn't feel too like heady though, you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I'm like totally lost. Like, it's just sometimes I'm like, what? Well, okay, cool. All right, either you're going to explain that later on, or I don't need to know. That's fine too. But I feel like that's just competent writing, and where like you trust your reader to be able to keep up. So I think that's really cool. There was an addition last issue that we didn't get a chance to talk about, and I really just love this concept. But this girl, Amelia Addison, is added, and she is a Cassandra, which I thought was really cool, because within mythology, Cassandra was an oracle of sorts, but like a prophesizer who no one would believe. And that there have been many Cassandras, using it as like this term, and that like they always know exactly what's going to happen and no one ever listens to them. And I was like, it's just cool. It's just fun to watch that from her perspective. This issue, without getting too much into it, I want to call out something I thought that was really well done, in which we simultaneously get the background for our character that we're dealing with in this issue, but also get the present day, what is happening, which was continued from the last issue. That requires Strange to essentially like slow down time and allow Wynn to like punch someone out, which I'm like, that's really cool. I love that, right? But each time we see them attempting it, the dialogue's slightly different. So it's like clearly they've been doing it over and over again, and then they do it again. And it's only like, it was only 3 times.
That's cool.
But like you see, like the dialogue for Strange is on it sliding backward as they step forward the first time, and then the next time it's as they slow down, and then the last time I think is as they stand still, and that's when he gets it. And you see like the art shifts slightly for that, and I just thought that was a really good use of visuals matched with storytelling to really give you that full idea of what is happening. But yeah, just really great. Like I said, the world building in this, clearly we're taking some already existing ideas within the Marvel universe, and we're just kind of expanding and investigating, and we're Hickmanizing it. And for better or for worse, I think it's for better.
But without like a lot of pomp and circumstance. Like God's got a big release in as much as the first issue was $10. And
now the other issues they are expensive. I'm not going to pretend.
They're got to be like 6, I think, or something like that. They're not 10 again, but I think they are.
I think they are $5.99.
Yeah,
I can't remember though. But I think that they are
$4.99.
Oh, it is $4.99. Oh, it is only $5. Hooray! Hooray! I spent less on it than I thought I did. Excellent. But I know that this is also one of those things that may not appeal to everyone.
No, it's true. Oh no, well that's the thing is like I think Hickman knows that. I think Hickman's like, look, I want to play with the Marvel magic world.
Well, I know just the magic world. It is, we're dealing with
we're doing space and time and stuff like that.
Cosmic
but like
beings and the in-betweener is in this. Like we're dealing with all
right. But as far as the layman's concerned, as far as street level or mutant level or Avengers, this is the magic world. Like it has no overlap in places that Hickman has been, though it is still part of the same universe. But it allows it to be this whole niche place that he can turn on its ear, because by and large, most top creators don't want to play in that space, nor does Marvel want to invest money in it.
Right. I do want to point out that there was in the last issue, again, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it. By the way, the last issue, the way it ends is how we begin the next, like the 4th issue. So it's funny because it's like, wait, if you felt like you had just seen those like a month ago, you did. But it's a clever use of that. But there's a character that is, I believe, introduced in this. I'm going to say introduced because I don't think it existed before this. But Hickman is calling this, he's Oblivion.
Okay.
One of the greater gods, I believe. I'm trying to find his exact, here we go. He's an abstract. An abstract is one of the 8 devisers found along the universal axis of power. They're beings of immense power and unfathomable motivation, greater gods in every sense of the word, blah, 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 right? And I'm like, an abstract is one of the 8. And I'm like, are you trying to like indicate that like the Marvel universe has its own like endless in a way, and this is Oblivion.
Why not?
And I was like, that kind of captured the imagination. I don't know how far we're gonna go into it, or if it's just like here's the thing, bye.
Here's the thing. I got an idea. Whatever. We'll see if anybody wants to play with it.
It's almost, and I can't tell if Hickman is the type of writer who's like, it's almost more fun for the idea to just exist without being
a thing I've got to
find.
Yeah, but if you look at his Avengers, it's like no.
I guess that's true.
That's like no. You invented a thing. Here you go.
Okay.
But I mean, or he's got like they're gonna show up, and it's and he's counting on the readers, his fans, to go. That's not totally out of nowhere.
Oh, okay. Oblivion did exist prior. Oh,
right.
There you go.
Oh, good.
No, there's always someone ready to let me know
that you're wrong.
I know, I'm always wrong. No, but it's really not a big deal.
It's
like
true.
I said, like I read this. I actually realized I hadn't read 3, so I had to read them back to back.
Oh yeah, so it was like a double issue.
I didn't do my due diligence, folks. I'm sorry. But yeah, I still think that this is a great series, and I love the art. I think Skeety's doing really phenomenal work. You know, I have always enjoyed his costume design, obviously, but I do like a lot of his panel work, and I really like his people just in general. And obviously, like he's unafraid of like beauty, of things that are less beautiful. Like it's just he's just a good artist just in general. So great pairing for these two. Again, I know this one's not up everyone's alley, and I totally get people skipping it, but if you're interested in it all, maybe you want to pre-order the trade or something. I don't know. I like it.
I think it's worth it. I mean, definitely it's a big deal in the Marvel universe that like no one's really talking about.
Sure. I think the people who the audience that this is for, I think, is finding it.
I think they're loving it, but they're also being nice and like respectful and quiet about it. It's funny.
Isn't that pleasant?
Yeah. Well, I read Punisher #3 from David Pepose and Rod Rice. This is, of course, the replacement Punisher, or rather the like new established Punisher. It's new Punisher, and it was fun. I had kind of dropped off I read the first issue, I'd skipped the second issue, I read the third issue. But it's fun. You're seeing a Punisher who's like deliberately like he's very much on the run. He is haunted by his family, but in a very like comic booky Marvel way. They're not ghosts, they're more just like haunting. It evokes that feeling of like classic Punisher, where it makes you go like, oh man, like this dude, his family is freshly murdered and he's really sad, but he's also really angry, and he feels really responsible for what they've done and or what he's done. He feels that he was the target of their assassination,
right,
and that they were collateral damage. Well, it turns out he was not the direct attempt, and that he was supposed to be collateral damage, and so that should absolve him a little bit of his guilt. But he has a death wish. He wants to be with them, and so he's like, I'm just here to solve this thing, and then when I do, I'm out. Which I kind of love. It almost has like a bit of a ticking clock element to it. He has his own microchip character. It's fun to see like this character parallel things about Punisher. There was a great moment where there was a big reveal of the like a behind the scenes type villain who leaves a calling card in the form of a puzzle piece, and I was like, whoa, what's that? Oh, it's a new Jigsaw.
Okay, that makes sense.
For this Punisher, and he's got this really great design with a really cool like
it involves a little tricycle and a puppet.
And he's like, Punisher, you want to play a game? And everyone's like, no, we're all done playing your game. That sucks.
No, nobody wants.
But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a really, it was a really like, again, what I liked about the first issue remains in the third issue. It is a quintessentially Marvel comic. It is very much in the spirit of Punisher. I think that if you liked Frank, you'll probably like this. It is a revenge story. It is it's a mystery. You're on the ground floor. There's no context. There's 3 issues. Totally worth checking out. So that was fun.
Excellent. I want to do a quick follow-up.
Please do about Oblivion.
So as to not be outdone by chat. He is an established character. It is funny though, because his reference is having siblings, which I was like, but it only seems to be 3 siblings, and he's mentioned to be one of 8 in this. So I don't know if this is an instance in which
they added more,
or Hickman just knows more than the rest of us, which is absolutely possible, because like the is not mentioned within the article here. But I do believe that this character was created by DeMatteis, which is not at all surprising.
Although the one thing that is surprising is that Jade McKay is not related, or Nick Spencer for that matter.
No, creator, DeMatteis back in like 1984, which like, of course.
Yeah, here's an idea.
Of course, this is and that's the thing, like, you know what I mean? Like this, it's funny that it is DeMatteis too, because some of the like the way in which this is written in that level of like, here are things, and it's up to you to decide if you want to jump into it or not, very much feels a bit like Shambhala, like Into Shambhala.
Yeah.
Which is, they're not exactly the same. But it's just that I don't know, that like artistic-y look to it, and also the like, here are the concepts.
Yes, here's the ideas, get out. But I'm telling a story here. I mean, I just want to give you an idea,
Yeah,
and then
this is the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy it or not, I don't care.
Yeah, I read Superior Spider-Man number 3.
Chart somewhere.
Yeah, of course he does.
He does. He's got like lots of charts.
Yeah,
it's yeah, so many charts.
It's true. Dan Slott, Mark Bagley. This is, of course, the new Superior Spider-Man series in which Pete and Otto are working together to deal with a villain who was also a long-standing character from Slott's run, who has now become a villain, or at least became a villain during the Superior Spider-Man story. It's Retcon, where she was a character that nobody wanted to deal with after Slott left the book. And so he's like, oh, well, then here's what happened to her when I was still on the book and nobody wanted to write about her. So here we go. She's a villain. And so Pete and Doc Ock have to go into a very deep cut reference to Doc Ock's master planner, a subterranean, subaquatic lair, where Pete had his triumphant moment where he had to like lift the big heavy thing to get the medicine that would save Aunt May. Otto has to guide Pete because, of course, Otto is in his own body. There's actually a really funny moment. It's a great sequence where Pete and Otto are kind of like brainstorming, and while Otto's working on like the plan, Pete is doing a timeline of basically securing for himself, like, you are untrustworthy because you did go through catharsis that made you a better person in these instances here in this timeline, but the Otto I'm talking to didn't. You're here before the other Ottos did all those things and died or were unmade or whatever. So like, you've never experienced the tragedies or losses that you need in order to become a good person. So I don't trust you.
Right.
And I'm like, that's really fun. What a good, what a great observation. What a Peter thing to do. So that was fun. And then of course you watch like Pete pretend to be Doc Ock, and it was just like a fun kind of like good story. I just really enjoyed Pete's reaction to like the spiderlings that Doc Ock has kept in his employ the entire time in this lair. It's just really fun to watch Pete and Otto work together to be one hero. Of course, it ends in a double cross, but it was fun. It was just a fun story, good art. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Weird. Yeah, suspicious, fair. No, I dug it. Good stuff. Superior Spider-Man 3.
How's the art on the interiors? Because did Bagley do the cover?
No, that's Humberto Ramos. Are you talking about this duplicate character here on the front? Where it's literally the same design?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I actually was. It's a little stiffer than I'm used to seeing from Bagley, but
it might be Bagley. It looks like Humberto Ramos, but it might actually be Bagley.
The signature looks like Bagley.
That's Bagley's signature. That's
and like there's just like, I'm not like the hand on the left side of the cover is like kind of weird, like the perspective on it. Like I'm just surprised at how rushed this kind of feels.
Yeah, Bagley's under the gun at all times. I guess but I do love. It's funny. I actually really liked this cover, despite the duplicate guys. I was like, this is the same guy, but like with the different hand gestures. But Bagley's been doing all the covers. He's been doing all the interiors. The book's coming out on time.
Yeah. I'm not really. I just was like, wow. Like, does the interiors do they look stronger than this?
I think they're on par.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had no particular issue, though I did question whether it was Bagley. Not that I thought it was like less than. It's just that I was like, oh, was Bagley doing the entire book? I was surprised to see that. Okay. Based on the style that Bagley is he's achieving now at this point in his career. But I think he still got it. He's still doing it.
Awesome.
What else you got?
I just real quickly, I don't really go too much into this, but I just want everyone to know I'm still reading Hexagon Bridge and I still love it.
Yeah.
That's really just it. There's Richard Blake on writing and art. This is such a weird book. I love it. It's just so out there. And I think this book is smarter than myself for sure. I want to reread this at some point. It's just a lot of really interesting concepts in this. And I mean, they're just these pages in this book. And
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
great.
get over the mastery of color and just overall just the beauty of the artwork within it. It very much is the type of artwork I do gravitate towards. So naturally I can't help but like be like, no, it's so good. It's
Oh,
so
sure.
good. But the book is also like just interesting and I almost would love to see a show. You know, maybe
I'm sure they would too.
maybe a la like a Twin Peaks or like, you know,
Yeah.
just in that vein.
Yeah.
Maybe not exactly that. I don't think that's quite his. I don't think this is quite his level of
avant-garde.
but like somewhere close to that, I think it would be pretty good. But I'm also just pleased with the way that it is. I don't need it to be translated into something else.
True.
But just a book I really like.
Yeah. I read. I didn't really read Ghost Machine. I didn't get a chance to actually like read this book, but I did look through it. It's literally a sampler. It just shows you like a few pages from every book under the label.
I legitimately thought was already out, but I think that's just because they had the booth.
Yeah, and I think it's because like I was like, did I read this already, or is this a thing? Yeah, we had like ashcan copies from New York Comic Con, so I've actually
mentioned that last week
I looked at this a while ago. I wasn't sure what this was going to be because again, I haven't seen this since October. But again, I can't say much to the writing because I really didn't get a chance to actually read the deeper parts of it. But I did get a chance to look at the art, and the art is as good as you'd expect, maybe even better. You're seeing a lot of work from like Gary Frank, Brian Hitch, Ivan Rice, Francis Manapul. It's great. It looks great. It's a very good looking bunch of books. And one can hope that they are continually bringing their A game because it's very much, this is a book that it has something to prove.
Okay.
And it is showing you the best of their talents
so
on display.
Is that how this is going to work? Is that each book has little bits of each?
No. This is Ghost Machine. The name of the group is Ghost, like the company is Ghost Machine.
I'm sorry.
Each of the books is going to.
I realized those are just all.
Those are all just different covers for this one sampler issue. Every series is going to get their own books, and those all have very distinctly different tones, themes.
It's fairly oversized. It's 64 pages.
Oh yeah, no, it was. That's part of the reason why I didn't get a chance to read it all. I was just like, oh crap, this is longer than I expected.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just looked through it, but
absolutely.
Again, it looks great. Like it's just hopefully they'll be able to bring the heat.
Yeah, absolutely. Additionally, I read The Flash this week.
I wasn't sure if you'd have time. I'm glad you get a chance to.
Issue 5, The Flash, Cy Spurrier on writing, art by Mike Deodato Jr. And listen, folks, I really like this book.
Still like it?
But that said, I completely get if you are a Flash fan that you don't like this book. I get it.
Yeah, because it's just not a Flash type book.
And that has nothing to do with being like, oh, you don't get no, I'm not saying that at all. I think you get it 100%. I think it's just not what you're looking for in your Flash book. Totally get you. I like it. Yeah. But I wasn't reading Flash before this.
No.
So you know what I mean?
Right.
That said, listen, it's Wally's in a weird place. His family, not just the Flash family, but his family and he.
Yes, Linda and everybody. Yeah,
they're in a weird space. Jay. Is that Jai? Is that how you say it?
Jay, I was said Jai, but yeah.
Jay. I assumed it was Jay because like Jay Garrick, but
oh not, yeah, no, could be.
But yeah, like he's he has his powers, but he's bad at using them. Like he always messes up, and like I'm like I can relate to that. As a kid, just screwing up, and it's kind of coming like they're different. They're just different powers, and I believe in this issue he lets his dad know he doesn't want to be a superhero. And we noticed that Wally keeps going back to the Gallery of Truth, that place where like things are like it's a statue garden. You remember me showing you that at all? Like there's like this
yes,
there's a statue garden in here somewhere in one of the issues, but that's the Gallery of Truth, and he keeps going back there, and as he does, like he forgets who he is and forgets everything, and I'm like, oh, I think we're saying something here. The Flash is like fastest man alive. He can do everything. He's a father. He's a this. He's a that. He's a like whatever. And I think what we're getting here is that Wally just needs a break.
Yes.
And
even though ironically he finally is getting to be the Flash again, like with his own book.
Right.
And we're saying he needs a break now.
Well, I think he's like, it's not that he needs a break from being the Flash. I think he just needs a break from saying yes to everything or feeling like he has to do every single thing well.
Yeah.
And I love the way that Deodato portrays when he goes there, because they always mention like the like those in touch with the Speed Force or the Flashes, like you can see that, you know, when we see in the book, you see like the trail and you can follow it if you wanted to. With this, he just fades away and you don't know where he goes. There's something about this book that I really, really like. And again, I do think we're saying something with it, but again, if you were like, I'm reading the Flash,
I can't wait for joy and speed.
And I love the joy of it, or even just, you know, maybe it's not always like joyful, like, you know, ridiculous, just happy, sunny, whatever. But like, you know, it's the Flash is down and he's going to get up and blah, blah, and he's going to punch the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Or he's going to do whatever he does and he's going to do it with a smile and a quip. I don't feel like that's where this book is going. And so I get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I totally understand you. I am very much enjoying this book though.
Oh, sure.
You know, like I really, really am. And I am sorry that we're I don't know. I feel like it's taking away from people's time with this character. You know, if you were really excited for Wally to come back and you thought it was going to be like one thing, and then you're like, here's
something else.
And it's not that it's bad.
No,
I don't think it's bad. I just think it's maybe not what everyone wanted. I do like some dourness, some strangeness. I love Deodato's panel work in this. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it feels a little bit like we're like, I don't know, it's just the way that it's laid out, that it feels like you're almost like seeing it through maybe the perspective of someone attached to the Speed Force, like just seeing so much all at once. I don't know, like I really would need to sit down and analyze this. But I just enjoy this book, and it's always so different. I always like jump back into it. I'm like, am I still reading this? Am I still reading the Flash? And by the time I'm done with it, I'm like, yes, I am, 100%. Like it is, but it's dark.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's a dark color palette. It's a dark subject matter. You know, not everyone. Very few people are happy in this book. There's not a lot of like joy.
Yeah.
But maybe when that shows up, it's gonna be super exciting. I don't know. Just saying, I like it. Yeah. Sorry. And Deodato is doing a good job. I like it. It's not, you know, super beautiful, and that people aren't drawn super heroically at all times. But you know, it's interesting. Inspector Pilgrim is here. The science department. Or science. He's a science detective.
I see.
There you go.
Cool.
I dig it. I feel bad though, because
don't apologize for liking a book.
No, but I mean, like, I feel bad because I'm just like, Spurrier is so great, and then I'm like, I mean, this is a good book, and I'm really, really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it's probably not what you wanted, maybe. Anyway.
Lenny Laserdisc says it's been a minute since I said hello, so hi. Hi. I've been really hooked on Saber-tooth War. He's my third favorite X-Men character. Thank you, Tiffany, for all the X-Men knowledge. It's been my favorite part of the show.
Oh,
I'm glad to hear it. Thanks, man.
I'm trying.
Thanks for your support. Yeah.
I don't have all the answers.
No, it's true.
I appreciate you.
R. Jones, hi, Sound Tiffany, wanted to plug the Gargoyles 30th anniversary Kickstarter. Comics decades out of print are now available. 90s Marvel run and the 2000s slave labor graphics run.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. You'll have to see my conversation with one person who has a vested interest in seeing this series return and this Kickstarter succeed. So
awesome.
Keep an eye out.
Can't wait.
Zoinks. Hey guys, I've been in a Spurrier binge at the moment.
Nice.
First volume of Coda, caught up to the Constantine series, and Aaron Campbell's art is awesome.
Yes. If you like that, then you might want to check out Suicide Squad Blaze.
Yeah. J-Man27 Joestar, the Saber-tooth War arc is taking place after X-Force 50, but before Fall and Rise of X. It's mentioned in writing credits for issue 41.
Thank you.
Girk Pectus, did you hear about the Hugo Award controversy? What a spit in the face to Gaiman and Sandman. His episode of Sandman had nothing to do with China. No, I did not.
No, I didn't.
He also asked, did you know that Alan Moore came up with the Marvel 616 as a joke? Hope you use this as an excuse to use your hilarious Moore impression. I'm afraid I can't, because David Thorpe actually created the 616 numbers for Marvel, and Alan Moore was just attributed to it. So I'm afraid no Alan Moore reference today. Jay Sage, I've read enough shonen manga. I'm all aboard gods.
Yay!
Hey!
Nice.
That's an interesting approximation. Last Starfighter. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Comic Pop, totally off topic, but I saw a comic content creator on Instagram being sent 12 copies of Mark Miller's Trouble to their P.O. box. Hopefully you guys will not get copies anytime soon. I think I saw that too, and I don't know why, but I hope that no one ever sends them to me, because I have my copies. We did our episode.
Yeah,
I never need another copy of that ever again, but thank you, man. Dex Baker, as a sponsor of the show, I just want to take this time to whine about digital. I rarely do digital, but I wanted to read on a flight on Google Books. Nothing current pops up without heavy digging.
So I've never used Google Books for that. That's interesting. I'll have to check it out. I do use this is not sponsored.
No.
Not sponsored. I do use Amazon's Comixology, now Kindle, to do so. But I'll have to check out the Google Books experience because I know they do have stuff on there. I didn't know they actually carried current things.
Me either. Didn't you read? You used to read comics on Google, or at least you found you could.
I could, and I also found that some of them like I could get because you never used to be able to like get money for like doing Google surveys.
Yes.
And so like I could use it to buy some like
some
trades.
Books. Yeah, exactly.
But I wasn't looking for anything current. You know, if I was trying to get something current, I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
But yeah, I do remember it not being super like
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. J Sage, Comic Pop. Have a great day, both of you. Been reading Size Flash. Well written, but might not be the direction I want. That's okay. I'd let him cook though.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, you'll get another Flash book, I promise. Eric Wu wanted to thank Tiffany for inspiring me to buy AXE Judgment Day. Thanks for keeping me interested in modern comics.
Yay!
Thank you, Eric.
AXE, man, it's so good.
I know.
It's like one of my favorite events.
It means a lot to me that people are encouraged to buy comics thanks to a recommendation from us.
Yeah.
We got more. There's more books on the way.
Here
we go. I read Penguin #6. Tom King.
Did you catch up?
Yeah, Steven Subic. This series, I did catch up in preparation for my chat with Tom King, which you guys really needed to watch. It's really great. But this is still a fantastic series. The art's great. The story is incredible, and the characterization is just 100% on brand. Even Batman is good in this. You know, like I like Batman as he is portrayed in this, and it's really cool. And you might find out why because of what Tom King says in my conversation with Tom King on the show here on this very channel. But yeah, man, Penguin, right? How did Penguin become the top dog or bird in Gotham crime if Batman is so good at stopping crime? Well, it turns out that Penguin was a bartender for Falcone, and he was so incensed by his lowly position that he inevitably found out through apparently his mother, or at least the woman who adopted him or took care of him, or a old crazy woman that lives in his apartment complex that he is taking care of because he feels bad for her.
Penguin does?
The Penguin, yeah.
Oh.
When he was younger.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She was telling Penguin a story one time after he was complaining about his job that she saw Batman once. Batman landed on the roof while she was taking care of her birds. She takes care of pigeons.
Oh, sure.
And she's like, he's not a monster. Like, he's just some guy. Like, he doesn't shoot. He doesn't fly. He has ropes that he throws. You know, and that like that turned some gears in Penguin's head. And so at one point, Penguin flags down Batman. And he's like, I have information about the Falcone family. You want to take down Falcone? I'll help you. And so inevitably, like, and Batman, of course, is like, I know everything about you, Cobblepot. Like, I know your real name, because he used a nom de plume. But he's like, I know your real name. I know who you are. I know you're from. Like, I know everything about you. And there's nothing about you that tells me you're a good person that wants to help Gotham. And so reluctantly, Batman like works with him, and like they essentially work together to destroy the Falcone family. The reason why Penguin is, you assume that based on the story that like Penguin just occupies where Falcone was. Batman installs Penguin as the head of the crime family, so he can keep a look, like, or an eye on the crime family and control it, or at least like he knows he can watch it, monitor it, and control it better than when it's like chaotic and run by like criminals that he doesn't know personally.
I don't know if I like that.
I know, it's very interesting, but like the thing is, I think it basically blows up in Batman's face, the idea that because of course at the end, like,
I don't know if I like that.
we see the wrap up where like, you know, we're taking down Falcone today. This is the thing, blah blah blah. And after Batman leaves, you know, the old woman is talking to Penguin, and she's going on and on. She's obviously lost her mind, and she's just like yammering on and on. And Penguin explains, like, you played your part. That like, you made Batman think that I was anything other than a monster, and then pushes her off the top of the building. Like, it's just this incredible book, because like you're reading this and you're kind of like, I feel something for Penguin. Like, I feel bad, or at the very least, I understand him. And oh no, like, is he becoming sympathetic? And this is one of those things where it's like, that's what most good fiction does. They humanize the villain.
Oh, sure.
In this case, it's like, no, Penguin's a piece of shit, and he always has been. And I'm like,
sucks.
oh yes, it's great.
All right.
And this book in particular is mostly about like Penguin year one, so that's worth reading.
Yeah.
But the rest of the series has been about Penguin building his team so that he can take Gotham back. And the twists and turns and deceptions and so forth that go on for that. It's a really, really cool series.
Great.
Just frustrating how good it is. But yeah.
All right.
What else you got?
I got 2 left.
I know.
So let's do Resurrection of Magneto.
Resurrection of Magneto?
Yeah.
Magneto came back to life? What?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
This is Al Ewing with art by Luciano Vecchio.
That's 2 Magneto books in the Krakoa age that probably could have just been a story arc in another book.
Maybe.
Trial of Magneto and Resurrection of Magneto.
Admittedly, Ewing was the one who did
the deed.
Yeah, he did the deed. He was working with Magneto.
It was X-Men Red was the book.
Yeah. He's been working with Storm. So like, if anyone's gonna do it, let this man
absolutely,
definitely let him do it. So like, I think that's okay.
Fair.
Essentially, like, this opens up with an image that I will get into in a minute. But there's an image of Magneto and Storm is dreaming of it. She's been sleeping with that guy from Earth.
That guy. I don't recall that.
Good for that guy. Really?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Oh yeah, no. He's just like a dude, and
it's just some dude.
He's just a dude. He was on Araco. He saved like 2 kids from Araco, and he's like been kind of caring for them now. And
okay,
like, they've got a thing going on. She's like, he's not like a mutant. He's not a this. He's just a guy.
Just some guy.
It's really sweet, actually. I really like. It's very healthy.
Yeah,
it's very healthy. It's good for you, Aurora. It's very good. Good for you.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it, honey.
Grounds you.
Yeah. His name's Craig. But yeah, she says, like, when I'm with him, I'm not a queen or a warrior or a goddess. I just am.
Right.
And I'm like, that's cool.
That is cool.
He's just there. He's just taking care of her.
Good for you, Craig.
But I think she's also like, I'm not coming back, Craig.
No kidding.
Sorry, Craig.
Craig's like, I always knew it was going to end like this.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised I'm not being murdered right now.
He's like, do I keep the house or like what?
Sure. The air is going to evaporate soon. You know it. You might want to go home.
Get out of there, Craig.
Go home quick. You see if you can get that lease renewed.
Yeah, take the kids. Anyway, Storm's having dreams of Magneto saying like I was wrong.
Yeah.
And she's like, I gotta go and see him. Because remember when like Wanda created the waiting room?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna see if I can find him.
Ah.
So, she utilizes Dr. Adam Brashear.
Okay.
Brashear.
I think it's Brashear. Yeah.
However you want to pronounce that. It's one thing to say them in your head. It's another thing when you have to say it out loud. I got to tell you. Like,
I know.
Because I'm reading it. Don't question it.
Nope.
Say it out loud. I'm like, is that it?
Right.
Is this it? I don't know. But essentially, someone she's worked with in the past who was hanging out with Taya.
Okay.
Again, I said this before. Galen's mom.
Yes.
But what you need to know is he's going to help her get where she needs to go. She enters the portal he creates prematurely, and she ends up where she needs to be, where she's greeted by Tarn.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, hi, Tarn. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And he's like, don't forget, I am technically a mutant.
Right.
So
I can come back too.
So I'm here waiting. She's like, where's everybody else? She's like, they come and they go as they please. Great image. A lot of stuff in the background. You can check it out. Or not.
Easter eggs.
Totally up to you.
I didn't see an article that pointed them all out.
I'm sure. Yeah. Big fight.
Yep.
Occurs because listen, let's have a big fight.
Yeah, I saw people complaining about this online because they're like, Tarn is so powerful and he's so awesome, and I can't believe how it was this whole series just to make everyone understand how cool Storm is. And I know that I kind of like that, but also I'm mad because I invested all my personality into knowing that Tarn is cool.
To those of you who are upset,
there's no one in our comments that's doing that.
No, I know.
We're talking about Redditors.
Just in general, like, folks, it's Tarn. He sucks.
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's in the waiting room. Like
he's dead. And Magneto took him down, and he worked with Storm. Come on.
Mhm.
He's also in the waiting room.
Yeah.
There's magic involved. Literally, they keep talking about magic.
Well,
like,
they only did that because they only saw like 2 pages out of context.
right. Well, like,
They didn't even know they were in the waiting
right,
room.
but like, pay attention to the context.
But why would I do
surrounding the
that?
fight.
I'm reading comic books here.
Anyway, big cool fight. Really great opportunity for Vecchio to like just go
for broke.
ham,
Let's
just
do
go
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
With like, changing Tarn up and just really great images. I love this. It's a solid opportunity to keep the action going in a book that seemingly would just be
That's going to be Storm going to heaven and talking to Magneto. Yeah.
We get reference to a book I did not read. I did not read that Gambit series.
The original one?
No, I think it's the other one. I think remember they did a recent one.
Oh yeah.
I
No.
honestly did not read that one.
Well, you're in the minority. I mean, a majority. Sorry.
We get a reference to it, which I was kind of like piecing together. I was like, okay, cool. Good enough.
Gambit.
No, there's a cat there.
Sandwich me.
Which I love.
Yay.
But listen, we're talking about magic.
Mhm.
Magic is going to play a part of it.
So Dr. Strange shows up and he's like, Storm,
no, Storm obviously has a connection to it. She gets like a peek to see what's going back on where she was. She didn't just leave. Like, she's like dying.
Oh.
And like,
in order to go into there, like you need to be be half dead.
I think that's why the guy was like, hold on, don't go in the portal yet. And
right.
She was like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah. I know, why would you just wait?
Yeah,
it's not like it takes it'll take a week to calibrate. No, it's like 10 minutes.
Give me your time is factor here. I don't know.
All right, fine. Why? He's dead. He's not going anywhere.
Anyway, so she needs to like follow the path that Magneto took, and he went to the tower. So she's gonna have to follow his way. And like, it's interesting because as she's talking to the like her ancestor, she's like, this is a journey, my descendant. He took the path of life and death, and for every rise, a fall.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. And so she like tumbles down. Ends up talking to a Dominion. It is mentioned like Enigma is mentioned, which is the name of or what is being not the Dr. Seuss, but the Nathaniel Essex Dominion is being referred to.
Yeah.
So that is distinctly brought up. I like that Ewing is bringing it back around to Hickman's original idea of Dominions. I mean, again, it's all being tied in. The Ewing, Spurrier, Gillen grouping there.
Yeah,
really,
trifecta.
They're trying really hard to like bring this whole thing home and together. Not that the other writers aren't, because they definitely are, but these 3 are definitely like, all right, let's
doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Let's wrap some like take some of this what he wrote and take some of that and make it all work.
Good.
But I do love this like Dominion, really amazing like image of Magneto, and essentially Magneto ends up like suffering. The Dominion like studied him and attempted to like catalog him and understand his pain, but like they realized he didn't have enough that they wanted, and they sent him on his way. And like, they want Aurora because like she is so like
cool and powerful,
but like also like I think her attention or her connection to magic, like so they're like, yeah, we want you. She's not gonna let that happen. And inevitably, we see like a Russell Douterman-esque image of like Storm.
Here's all the storms you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she lands elsewhere, and she's like, okay, cool. Moving on, right?
Yeah.
And she wonders for a minute if like Magneto, was okay with like when the Dominion was like torturing him, if that's what he felt like he deserved, right?
Yeah, that mirrors the image from before.
Exactly. We're gonna get, trust me, we're getting into that image and what that image is. So yeah, no, she literally has the exact same image, but it's quite different. But
yes,
if you all thought post Jeannie Howard's work on Excalibur and Ten of Swords, if we were done with tarot cards, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Because the image of Magneto right at the beginning and the one of Aurora right at the end is a direct reference to the tarot card, the Five of Cups, which is super interesting that they chose this, and it's intentionally selected because in the upright position, which is what it is featured, first of all, you can see how perfectly it is mirrored here. You can pop it up if you want. So you can see here, it represents the regret, failure, disappointment, and pessimism. The important thing here is often
which cups are up and which cups are down.
There is part of that, but it's also important that like in the like description, it's often like the Five of Cups shows a man in a long black cloak looking down. I was like, that's really funny.
Yeah.
But the point is that he is too focused on the ones that have been knocked over, and the failure of those to like acknowledge the success of the two behind.
That's amazing, because he's always so. I mean, if we were to assume that, you can extrapolate like the old Magneto helmets, when he was a villain.
Yep.
He's so focused on what he did when he was wearing those helmets. We can see they're very representative of different particular eras.
Yeah.
And then we see the 2 helmets that he wore when he was like the Cullen Bunn hero era and the Krakoa helmet.
Yeah. He also, I do believe he wore all black during Krakoa as well. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, because of the fact that he's so focused on his failures, he doesn't acknowledge
his successes,
the successes or the potential for those, right? So he misses opportunities that are available for him. Often on the card, there is a bridge in the background.
There it is.
That has a flowing river as well.
And this was a dream originally. This image we're looking at is a dream.
So it's a dream that Aurora had, right?
Yes.
Aurora had. And the river and bridge leads to the security of a castle or home on the other riverbank. And if only he could move to there, like he could find a way through.
Right.
But he may not be able to. And I was just like, what? Right? Like,
yeah.
It represents being stuck in the past, that like, old wounds, bitter memories. Like you can't let any of this go. And forgiveness is the thing that is vital for the 5 of Cups. Like if you can take 8 forgiveness and hang on to it. And I was like, yes. So I'm just saying, folks, use this card as your guide for the rest of the trial of Magneto, because I have a feeling that that's the only way we're getting out of here, is that like he'll need to forgive himself. And I think so will she, considering the fact that she lands and has the exact same imagery, but it's with her headpiece instead.
So I mean, she's gonna be, so they're probably both gonna go through a journey of some kind.
I think so.
Yeah. And I wonder what failures Aurora sees for herself.
Right. I don't know.
Awesome.
So I just thought that was really, really cool. I couldn't believe, like, I opened it up and I was like,
yeah,
excuse me.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't huge on the idea of bringing Magneto back so swiftly, but making it under the guise of Magneto maybe being like, so
it's redemption.
Yeah, it's a redemption, or it's an opportunity for him to like truly move past, because he kind of did, but like maybe he was wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, just FYI, feel free, research it yourself. It's the 5 of Cups in the upright position. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And lastly, of course, X-Force came out this week.
Yes, it did. X-Force.
Number 48 came out, and you saw
the thumbnail.
Oh my stars and garters, folks.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
I think there has to be, and I'd love it if an intrepid member of Comic Pop wanted to clip it, but like there is an episode where you pitched this ending. I mean,
not exactly this.
It's what people wanted. It is fan service.
I'm not the only person who
had the idea and wanted it.
And I'm not going to pretend like I was. I'm not going to be like, I'm the one.
No, but the reason why I say it is because most people are quick to say that they are the ones who had the idea. So I wanted to give you that. Where you're like,
I appreciate
you definitely did have the idea ahead of time. I am one of the
many people who tapped into the desires of others and the potential that had been left for us to make this happen. So it's written by Ben Percy with art by Robert Gill. And listen, Beast had a whole bunch of clones, and he got rid of most of them. Sage held on to one of them. We knew that
that's a big reveal.
Yeah, it is. But
well, they're mad at her.
Yeah, it is a big reveal. But it's like, yeah.
But we know that. We know. We saw the cover. We know.
We saw the cover. I'm not ruining anything for you here, folks.
True. Yeah.
If we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about this. And the reason I say that so laissez-faire is because it symbolizes Sage's desire to fix this.
Yes.
Like, it's less about the fact that she held on to one of them and more about the fact that she's like, I think this could work.
Right. And they're like, no, it won't. And she's like, no, I got this.
No, Wolverine is like, I think this is a bad idea.
Right. Because Wolverine's saying what I was thinking. I want Beast to come back. But he's like, it is Beast. Like, the Beast we have now is just an older version of Beast. He still makes those decisions.
Yeah.
Like, making a younger Beast who was preserved from a period of like the New Defenders in 1986 or whatever isn't going to make things better. It's just going to make him a problem later.
But what this does give us is like a potential for a few different endings to this, for sure. But yeah, so, and don't forget too, when Beast left X-Force and Krakoa, he deleted all of his Cerebro backups except for one. Which was quite an old one, and one that he did not regard. Which I think is really interesting, because that specific thought process, though, kind of invalidates what Wolverine was saying. Like,
Yes.
as though there was something that happened very specifically that led to this. And so he doesn't regard that one because that one can't be what he is. Like, that I think is interesting.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Or he's like, I don't want to deal with that. That guy's too happy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it also says like this guy could be something special. Like it identifies that period. Like I need him to. Yeah, I'm not going to acknowledge that one.
So, you know, in the greenhouse in the Arctic, Beast, current day Beast,
real Beast,
shows up, steals a Krakoa suit, and leaves because he's like, "Don't worry,
I'm gonna fix this." Karoom.
He's like, everybody stay alive.
Yep.
But like, you know, also you're all idiots.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Everyone's dumb except for me.
Yep. Basically that.
And then Sage is like, "Hang on, everybody. I want you to see this."
Yeah. Well, no, she doesn't even go to the fight. She goes someplace else. I think because she's afraid he's going for that instead. I realize now.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to release it, but no.
But no. She's like, "Oh no!"
She's like,
because she has it because she keeps the clone Beast, real Beast, our Beast.
Yeah.
In a Krakoan like tumor.
Yeah.
One of those called
No Place tumor.
No Place. Yeah.
So yeah, the big plan is we're gonna do this, but like I think she just has the body and there's nothing in it. She's going to do the upload.
Yes.
And so they do. And initially I thought because they had Kid Omega, he was gonna do it, but they just used technology to do it, which I guess makes sense because Beast obviously uploaded what he needed to upload through that. So he was using that process instead of the actual like 5 style process to bring his clones to life.
Exactly.
But
I love there's a moment in this when like Beast is like old Beast is released.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Quick, let's strike a cool pose." It's just literally a moment. It's a half-page moment where they say, "Let's like action stance or something."
She's in a super defensive position, everyone.
Let's all position our action figures into a cool moment.
And then they pose for a picture
that no one takes. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what that is. But anyway, it's fun.
Which is like a bad idea because it's basically like, "Hi, I came out of a tube. Everyone's
here and they're all weird looking and they want to get me."
Right. Well, it'd be interesting, honestly, to find out. Well, okay, so maybe Colossus is pretty normal.
Colossus and Wolverine would be like, "Oh, I know you."
Beard. He's like, okay, that's weird. Omega Red is there.
Right.
Laura is there.
Black Tom Cassidy.
Like, I can imagine this Beast being like,
"What the hell is
something
happening?
Is wrong. I'm in trouble."
Yes.
And you know he goes wild, and they have to fight him.
Yep.
And we get him literally saying like,
"Oh, my stars and garters."
I was like, hooray. And then we see him like locked up, which I love because I'm like, what I remember from the X-Men animated series is Beast was in jail like the entire time.
Yeah, Beast is free. He is defeated in the first episode of the cartoon show, and then he's in jail for like 3 seasons. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
You are just giving me exactly what I think of when I think of that Beast, right?
So he's in jail. His jailer is Black Tom?
Yeah, it's Tom Cassidy. And Tom like is explaining how things run and you know what Krakoa is and all that stuff. And he asks Beast asks about the biotech, and he reveals that everyone can use it, blah, blah, blah. And then Beast obviously utilizes that and leaves. And I love this because initially you're like, oh no, like he is like a bad guy. But no, he goes and he wants to learn what Beast was doing. And it's a really sad sequence. It's him like just reading files and looking at, you know, everything that Beast had stored away that Sage was able to keep. And he's just crying.
Yeah.
Because like he reads every file that Hank McCoy authored or was the subject of.
Yes.
And I was like, that's got to be rough.
Yeah.
Like that's not cool.
No.
I love he goes, "Oh, Hank," and then he just runs away.
He leaves.
He's like, I have to go talk to him.
Right.
Or see him.
Or see him or fight him or kill him or whatever. We don't know. He just leaves, and that's the end of the issue. Like he just runs off. So he's not going to help them. I mean, like it's like
I think he is.
I mean, he is, but you know, it was like he's not going to join the team. He's gone. They're like, we just resurrected another Beast.
Well, maybe Sage will be like, if anyone can find Hank McCoy, it's Hank McCoy.
That's why I put a tracker on him.
Right. I'm sure they did. I'm sure he does. But this opens up a couple of opportunities for different endings. I think, you know, best ending possible is this Beast just takes over as Beast, and we just hope that nothing bad happens again.
Right.
2 is this Beast is going to die anyway. Because I can't remember if current Beast had something in the clones that he could control. So I'm a little worried about that. I have to go back and reference that.
Yep, same here.
But that that new Beast, the one that we like, dies, but maybe he has an effect on old Beast, and old Beast is like, what have I done?
Yeah, exactly.
Or the last option is they both die.
Right.
We have no Beast.
And we had no Beast. I think maybe Dark Beast is still alive. I don't remember.
He was like in a tube somewhere. But
Yeah,
I thought the Sinister Lab was destroyed. So
yeah. I mean, you can always say like, oh, one more pod, and it's the evil Age of Apocalypse Beast. But yeah, it's the Beast is back. We'll enjoy it for as long as we can.
I'm thrilled that we're hopefully gonna get like a good dialogue between this Beast and current Beast. And we'll see what that gets us, what that ends up being for our reward for that. I would love to see this Beast talk to Charles.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think we're gonna.
No, I don't think so either. I'd like this Beast to be. I'm sick of it, and I like Marvel is like an expert at this point of being like, here's the thing you want. Wait, no, it isn't. Ha ha ha! It's a little or a lot different. So like, yes, they give you Beast. Or you find out that like there's a secret like evil Beast program in his brain that's going to be released if like they encounter some contingency that Beast believes only he could defeat. It's like I just want real Beast to be
like
back.
The Beast of Zerona.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, this is a good book, but it was like woof.
No, it was good. But it was just sad to see this Beast
face himself.
Yeah, which is really sort of like, if you really like think about it, it's very it's a cool concept to have a character from the past interact with where comics have come, like to take like the like the wholesomeness and to drop it in to some more modern storytelling and have them have to react to it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it'd be nice to have a relic from like a more optimistic Marvel infused into this current period.
It would also be nice because it's like Kurt has already been through a lot, and at least he is back on his path.
Yeah.
Colossus is not the joyful character he used to be, based on what he just went through.
Honestly, I haven't seen Colossus be happy in 30 years.
Oh, that's really true.
Like ever since his sister like got the leg, like got the.
Yeah, but when he almost got married, he was doing pretty okay.
Yeah, there was a period. There's moments of happiness, but like he's Russian, he's never gonna be true.
But you know what I mean? Like, you do think of those sometimes as being like more like, like jovial, or at least like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And now he's just kind of like, I really like I couldn't do anything, and my body did these things. So
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I think there's a little room for some joy.
I think so.
So we'll see if Hank
they want to give it to us.
Gets to Hank out.
Yeah, let's see. But yeah, so before we get into more, we should talk
more.
But before we do that, we got a couple of super chats.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you very much.
Cat Loyal Defend for Treats. Thanks for bringing my attention to Sean Good Murphy's Zorro. Just read issue 1 on digital, and it was great. Pre-ordered the trade. The art is what I wanted. Nice.
Very nice.
Glad to hear it.
I like that idea. Like, if you're not like,
if you're not going to get the singles or whatever.
Yeah, like the idea of like trying one issue, and then if you like it well enough, you get the trade. That's a great idea.
Thorn Identity, welcome to the show, man. Good to see you again.
Hey.
Wish I had something pithy to say to go with this donation, sadly. Yeah, but you could go pick up Green Lantern Invictus on Amazon or at your local comic book store, folks. Check it out. Brandon Foley was always curious why you had 2 channels. The short version is because YouTube, okay, so like you release a video on YouTube on your channel. That video does well. YouTube recommends that video or videos like it that you make to the wider audience. If you make 2 videos and one video does well and the other video does not, YouTube looks at the poorly performing video and they go, well, looks like people aren't really going to be investing in your channel, and neither will we. So we don't show those videos to people. If you make 3 videos and 2 of those videos do well, but one of them does not, the one video will hurt the other 2 videos, especially when it comes to watch time and retention. So let's say you have a script, not a scripted, but like a pre-recorded show where it's like about 90 minutes long and people talk on a couch about a comic book, and that does very well. And then you do like a weekly live podcast where you talk about the current books, and that does moderately okay. Because of the moderately okay video, they assume that the channel, they don't differentiate between the difference in videos. So as far as they're concerned, you have been releasing the same video like 2 or 3 times a week, and people are only watching one of the 2 or 3 videos, which means your channel's a failure because you're failing to retain the bulk of your viewership, which I don't think is true. And I think that YouTube, you didn't used to believe that, but since they're slaves to a, artificially intelligent algorithm that they don't have control over anymore, they have to just do whatever the machine tells them. So they're like, oh, well, the robot says no, so no. So the only way to combat this is to pull those shows away from the other show and then put them out on another channel where more consistent content can come out. We do most of our live shows and other like experimental content. When I say experimental, I mean just what we would have put on ComicPop, 5-6 years ago, but can't anymore because it would have hurt back issues. And frankly speaking, my bottom line. But because this channel can be for just live shows, if the shows only get like 5,000 to 10,000 views, certainly for whatever reason, the last 2 years, 5,000 views, it doesn't really hurt anybody. This channel just does that well.
Yeah.
It does as well as it can, not it drags down what we could potentially be doing with the other channel. We also tested it and found that like the main channel does as well with 1 video a week than it did with 5 videos a week. And that 4 of those 5 videos weren't doing as well as the main video and were hurting the other video. So rather than work in a toll booth and make back issues once every 2 months, we're doing this. Rayfar, ComicPop Woo, had a rough day due to my insurance company, but good old ComicPop was there to make the day better. Thanks for all you do.
Sorry about that.
Sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're here, man. I know you previously said that good art can save bad writing, like Spawn and Hush, but are there any comics with amazing writing that you can't stand? Yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man was a series that should be 100% for me. And I read the first volume and I was like, I love this, but I'll never read another issue of it. That's it. I'll never read more.
Yeah.
It is so horrible looking.
Right.
But yeah, so Master of the Universe Revolution. This is a show that I was not expecting us to watch, much less review on this channel. But we found ourselves with a free Sunday and we watched them. And you noticed that each episode was less than 30 minutes long, and there were only 5 episodes. And we were like, oh, well, I guess we'll just watch this. Not like we'll watch the whole damn thing, but by the time we got to like episode 4, which is of course the penultimate episode of the series, we were like, oh, well, I guess we'll watch the next one. It's only like 36 minutes long or something. So we watched all of it. Of course, this is the 3rd, I think, season.
Yeah.
If you can even call it a season, or if someone wants to cut it together to make like a 95-minute long movie, there you go.
No, it would be a 2.5 hour.
2 hour. That's not bad. 2.5 hour long He-Man movie. That's pretty sweet. So yeah,
it's not even quite that.
No, so cut that together. Make a freaking He-Man movie out of this. But yeah, this is of course like the continuation of that series, the one that was much discussed and criticized for all kinds of reasons. But this one, you called it an apology season. Would you still categorize that now that you've seen the rest of it? Yeah, I think so too. It absolutely is.
This is what everyone thought they were getting.
This is exactly that. This was references, but also reverence for the source material, and just tongue-in-cheek wink and nods, but without like. And it's about something, but it's about something like a fantasy movie would be about, not like about what current Hollywood is about. It's just like, here's the thing, oh no, Prince Adam's father is dying, and he's like, you can't be a superhero and a king, what are you gonna do? And it's like, that's the duality. Also, there's a girl you like, and like, you just better tell her how you feel. Like, it's like,
and more than likely you're gonna see the twists and turns coming your way
a mile away.
That's all right.
But like, yeah, you're here to watch a He-Man cartoon, you're not here to like be challenged. And if you are here to be challenged, watch the first 2 seasons. Because that's more of a challenge. But like, but I'll be honest with you, I had more fun watching this than I did the last 2 seasons.
For me, because like because the only thing I can remember about the last 2 seasons really revolved around Evelyn.
Yes, which were great.
That is my Magnet character.
Oh yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, no, I loved everything. I loved all the seasons because I like Lena.
Oh no. Evelyn was
like, I'm so here for her character, and that was when I was like, wait, is she alive still? Is she like? I was like realizing how frantic I was for her to be in this.
Yeah,
she was in fact in this. Everybody,
she was.
If you are an Evelyn stan, like I apparently am right now,
or Goodlyn.
I haven't decided yet.
That needs to be workshopped. But that's canon. But yeah, all your favorite characters come back. Yeah, and even your least favorite characters. But the least favorite character people complain about, they went away. Or they shut up. That's certainly what people were complaining about. Now they're all quiet. Nobody does anything. It's just He-Man and Tila, and she's there, but she goes over there and does some stuff. It's not about her.
But it is what he promised. He's like, it's about they're all masters of the universe.
Yeah, someone says at some point,
and sometimes it's gonna be about that person, and sometimes it's gonna be about this person. I don't know.
Yeah, the universe is big, and it needs different masters, and each master of the universe does reveal themselves, and it's just. But I liked Skeletor in the previous 2 seasons more than this one.
For sure. 100%.
Disappointing. I liked the idea behind how they presented this journey for Skeletor.
Yeah.
But again, a kind of a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I feel, it's funny is like that the Skeletor stuff was where I could feel the compression of the series the most.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's
so funny because we often talk about decompression, but that I could feel like I was like, they didn't have enough episodes.
Nope, they weren't given enough episodes
to like really open that up.
Yeah, no, because
but that's fine because I was looking for something else from this season, I guess.
Yeah, right. All I wanted was just more He-Man and Skeletor, and not even that. Like, because I never He-Man is not my favorite character in any realm of fiction. I couldn't care less about He-Man, but if I'm watching a He-Man cartoon, like he's going to be a ride-along character, because like it occurred to me today. I was thinking about the show, I was thinking back, and I'm like, he doesn't do anything wrong. He-Man does not like make a mistake.
No, he does.
Not like a moral mistake.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
because he's He-Man.
He doesn't stumble, is my point. Like he makes errors in judgment, but he does not like. There's no point where like there's a Act 2 twist where the supporting cast turns against him and he has to have a redemption journey.
There's not enough time.
There's no time for that.
5 episodes.
I know. There's only like 120 minutes of this show, so or a movie. But yeah, it was fun. It was just a fun little story that was ridiculous. And exactly, all the callbacks, references and stuff that were in this were very superficial in this. Whereas in the previous version of the show, the show, like the aggressive version of the show, where it's like, here's a million, comparatively, here's a million episodes, here's all these different focus character episodes, and here's different twists and turns. Here's a sequence where He-Man and Skeletor are literally fighting, and He-Man yells, "This isn't about us anymore." And like, that's what the whole point of the show was. Is like, we're talking about other people now. Since we threw that away, the things that I miss about it were character illustration moments that were like focusing on those characters. It would have been nice to get 2 Skeletor episodes.
Yeah,
like
we had like one Evil in episode.
Well, obviously, since she's wonderful. Again, it's funny, like I still want Evelyn to play Doctor Doom in the MCU.
Oh, me too.
And this has not done anything to dissuade me from that theory. I know there's a lot of like people who, myself included, I love Doctor Doom, and I think if I were like 13 and Doctor Doom came out and it was a woman, I'd be like, boo, that's confusing and weird. But then he'd take his mask off and it's friggin' Lena Headey, and I'd be like, oh, never mind.
I'm just gonna shut up now.
Oh, never mind. She's so hot and cool and scary. Like,
I've just awoken something in me.
Yeah, well, no, I love Doctor Doom now. But but she's so scary, she'd kill me. Yeah, it'd be awesome. But anyway, it's almost like, it's funny because like the story is very almost a little bit above one-dimensional. No complaints, but like clearly what the focus of the show is, and now it always has been, is the cast. They're just so proud of themselves for who they got. But everybody does a really nice job. Obviously, Tila's original voice actor did not return because she thought she was too good for this. I'm just kidding. I don't know. She was just probably busy, or they didn't have any effing money for her.
Or it could just be that like she's like, I don't want to do voice work. Like,
I don't blame her.
Like, it's a different muscle to to practice with.
Absolutely. But it made me wish that Melissa Benoist had been Tila the whole time. Because she did a good job. She's fine. I don't love Melissa Benoist. I'm not like, oh man, I loved your Supergirl, but she was a good Supergirl for that type of show. I don't want to see her play Woman of Tomorrow, but I thought she did a nice job.
Yeah.
And from her work on like Homeland, I'm like, oh yeah, good job. But she plays Tila well. That's it.
Yeah,
Everyone does a good job. I do believe that Mark Hamill was better at Skeletor in the previous 2 seasons than in this one.
I think he had more to do.
He did have more to
There's
do.
not a lot for him to do because we got to get out of the way.
Get out,
David.
Keith David as Hordak is. I wouldn't even say it's inspired casting because it's like it's more like duh, but also woefully underutilized.
Yeah, well, I think
criminally
underutilized. Yeah, I would say. Well, I think they're just whatever. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. Yes, but he's not in enough of this.
Well, no, because again, they had 5 episodes.
Yeah, but like we could cut to him saying more stuff. I don't know. Hordak was you had a complaint about Hordak. The design.
I was like, he's a lot less like
cybery.
Yeah, but it's okay. It all worked out.
It did work out. Yeah. When I was like, maybe he's like changed or something, or
no, they're just going for something different.
Yep. But then there's flashbacks to him, and I'm like, oh, he's his action figure now. He's got the fur. He's got the loincloth and everything.
He's got the loincloth with the fur.
Yeah, it's great. But obviously, Keith David did a great job. And wasn't phoning it in. No. I was worried that he might be like, I'm sorry, so what goggles do you want me to play here? But instead,
I don't think so. I think he's a consummate professional.
He's a complete professional. Yeah, exactly. I really hope there was a moment where Skeletor was fighting Hordak, and I was like really hoping that like there was going to be a moment where like all I could think of was They Live, where they just have a 20-minute fight in the alley to like get Keith David to wear sunglasses, and I was like, could they put a could they make a They Live reference in this movie?
No, they cannot. No.
And I'm really glad they didn't.
No, me too.
Everybody did a guy's job. Like I like Orko a lot. Orko was one of my favorite characters when I was a kid, and I love Griffin Newman as Orko. Okay. I liked Orko. I thought he was fun. I loved his design. For me, I loved the look of Orko. I don't know why. I always wanted the action figure. I never got him. Obviously, Lena Headey was great.
I was going to say, who's great?
Lena Headey?
Lena Headey.
Yeah, great. She is amazing. And
playing Evelyn, you see?
Right? Chris Wood's He-Man was, again, great. No complaints. But the elephant in the room, wearing a toupee, was Keldor.
Yeah.
I didn't mind him.
I found it distracting.
Why? I didn't think it was too distracting.
You know why? Because it's like...
I know why you were disappointed.
No. Well, yeah. But no. I mean, like, honestly, there were 2 people who I found distracting. One of which was Keith David as Hordak, because all I could hear was Keith David, which I'm not really complaining about because I do love Keith David's voice.
Right, but they didn't do enough to build up Hordak as a character, so it's just
Keith David.
Well, they're like, we have 5 episodes. Or rather, the movie's 120 more minutes.
Yeah.
So how about... we're gonna let Keith David's voice carry the character. Like instead of you knowing anything about Hordak, you can infer from his design and what he sounds like.
Yeah, and then just casting William Shatner, literally, that's just William Shatner. Mm-hmm. There's no character.
No, he's just happy to be there.
It's just William Shatner.
Yes, he's not really playing a character, but I was impressed by how young he sounded.
No, he did.
And how and him doing it. Like I didn't feel any eye rolls from him saying that he's like, yes, Man at Arms. Like I was really surprised he didn't grit his teeth. Now maybe he has to do like 12 takes and he like
maybe. I don't
but
know.
he seemed to take it. He took the material for real, which I really didn't expect from William Shatner at this point.
I feel like this is not necessarily true what I'm about to say about myself, but I felt like it was in the moment, but like he kind of took me right out of it. Like we're watching this and I was just like, and okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, and William Shatner, why are we even pretending like he looks like anything else? Just draw William Shatner.
No, but like
admittedly, it's like I know what Lena Headey sounds like, so I really shouldn't complain. But
no, it's true.
I feel like she's doing something.
Or
else.
Keith David for that matter. But like, I will say, Bill Shatner's like 80 or something. Like he's up there.
Yeah.
But he's playing a man who's supposed to be like 35, and it didn't seem weird. Okay. I was just like, oh, all right. What's a disappointment is that Mark Hamill didn't just play Keldor, because you weren't fooling anybody. So why not just because Mark Hamill's doing a voice. He doesn't always sound like that.
No.
So like you could let him play a regular person, like let him sound like Skeletor when he's not being Skeletor.
Right.
Sorry for both of you who thought that like there was some that there wasn't gonna be a twist that Keldor was a good guy, but I really was like, because there, you know what it is. In Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, Joker comes back, obviously, and Mark Hamill plays him, and they have a red herring character that they introduce, and he's also played by Mark Hamill, and he is not doing a Joker voice for the other guy, and he is doing a Joker voice for Joker.
No, I know
And
he can do it.
but as a child seeing that movie, I was like, that guy's the Joker. He's obviously played by Mark Hamill, but not everybody like hears that, and also who gives a crap?
Right.
Like, let Mark Hamill just play both characters.
Well, I assume this is because they've entered into their Star Trek era of casting. You got Keith David's already hitting up the Gargoyles fandom. We might as well just get more Star Trek people in.
That's
here
true.
to
Yeah.
surround him.
I'm sorry. Bill is 91. There you go. Sounds great. It's amazing.
Yeah, that is actually kind of amazing. But still, it took me right out. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
That said, before we like get away from this, I just want to say like Tila has some outfit changes in this.
Yes.
And her in her snake outfit that's fire. Her snake outfit is fire. I was so
impressed with this.
I was like, what? I was like baffled by how much I loved this, especially because like that stupid little skirt thing that's hanging off the back of her is like see-through, so it is like snake skin that has been shedded. I was like annoyed at how much thought went into this, and I know she has like. I was
well,
like,
then you pointed out, you were like, hey, doesn't Tila have like a snake outfit? I'm like, oh my god, Tila does wear a snake outfit. I completely forgot about that. That's awesome. Yay. Will she look like this the whole movie? No.
But most of it.
Will she have 4 different outfit changes in this movie?
Yeah. Sure. Will there be a magical girl sequence in there that involves He-Man and Tila? You bet your bottom dollar there will be.
Good. They are magical girls. Why shouldn't they have magical girl sequences?
Whatever. Everybody got over the Superman one here. Why not?
Right, exactly. Superman has a Sailor Moon sequence. Why not He-Man? He literally does. He literally has that. But the other thing was like
got that cute haircut.
The real elephant in the room.
Yeah, what?
Was the lingering implication of having Hordak as your villain in this show movie, where you're like, oh, Hordak, you know, the Skeletor of the She-Ra cartoon.
Yeah.
And Hordak had his own villains. Now, here's the thing about me as a child. I had He-Man figures when I was a kid, or so I thought. They were She-Ra figures.
Oh, whoops.
Like,
well, who cares?
Like Hordak and Leechman and that eyeball guy and like and Beastman. Like all of the monsters that I had that were He-Man were actually She-Ra. The reason that matters is because they were definitely discounted. Like my mom saved a lot of money on figures. She was like, "This is for boys. Whatever. I'll just take them out of the pink packaging before he gets them." But yeah, so I have a real. I was like, "Hey, look!" Just like you, because you liked She-Ra as well. You were a She-Ra fan,
sure.
In as much as you were aware of her and liked the implication of the character and how cool she was, and her theme.
Sure.
But yeah, I was like, "Oh, I know who all those characters are." Wait a minute, these are all She-Ra characters, but I've been told by like all these Masters Universe aficionados that we'll never see She-Ra in this universe ever again. You know, because like A, Netflix had their own She-Ra show that made people upset for some reason, and B, she's owned by different companies or something like that. Even though she's from that effing universe and she's freaking He-Man's sister. Like, how did you screw that up so badly?
I mean, Marvel sold off all their properties.
All their movie properties, but in the comics they can still do it
to a whole bunch of companies that now everybody.
Yeah, and then we're paying for it. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, but it wasn't. Well, maybe it was to get themselves out of bankruptcy. I mean, I understand that motivation, but but yeah, I was like, where the hell's She-Ra? And then there was a moment where we're watching the movie show, and we see a flashback to Randor and Beverly Crusher and Hordak skulking off with something in his arms, and you're like, oh. And it was like she was so obfuscated, like this potential baby, that one could argue that like they didn't get the rights for She-Ra and they were just animate it anyway, and we'll just say it's like a bag of gold or something. But they seem pretty upset about over that bag of gold. But then we get a post-credit scene. Yeah. And it's like, oh. Yeah. Are we getting more
voice casting?
Great voice casting.
Not like, here's the thing: if you cast that voice actress for that role, and you're not doing another season, what are you even doing?
Well, it's like what you're doing is you're going like, you want.
What are you?
You must feel like a real jerk for not letting us make more of this.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really good choice. I don't know if I would have picked her, but like hearing it, I was like, okay, I think you're definitely. I think I know where the inspo is for this, and because I know she can do it. She can do both sides of that.
Yeah,
Should be good.
Yeah, and you well, you also I think you pointed out like She-Ra has a bit of a deep voice from the original cartoon.
Sure.
And it's like, but so does the voice casting they brought. And it's like, that's cool. They carried it over. They didn't make her all like girly. You know, they didn't make her they didn't give her like a Britney.
Excuse me. We're in post Barbie world now. You can't use that.
Well, no, but I'm saying like, but they didn't
Girly can kick ass too.
Yeah, that's true. But they didn't like lilt her voice up. They didn't give her like a higher octave.
No, I think I like this voice actress a lot.
Cool. Yeah. So who knows if they're gonna make more? I don't know. But I dug it. But
it's only 5 episodes. If you're interested in all in this, just
watch the movie.
You almost don't need to know anything because it explains. There's like a key thing that like Tila and Evelyn are doing, and they pretty much explain what happened there. And you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
you're good. You can just literally just watch that, and you're fine.
There's a moment.
And then you can also understand why I'm like love it. I apparently I think I'm like secretly in love with Lena Headey.
Yeah,
it's not even a secret.
She's great. Yeah, maybe she'll fight not She-Ra, Despera. I believe that's the credit she got in the show. Is that Despera is going to show up, and it's like, but that's the origins for the character. It's like, wow, cool. This could keep going. You could keep this franchise going. If people watch it.
5 episodes makes you feel like
well, no, 5 episodes says that like they wanted to limit the budget, but maybe it is a goodbye, and they're like, well, since it's over, here's She-Ra. Whatever, like I don't know, but I was like, this is impressive. Like it was fun. It was a fun watch.
Yeah,
and I kind of dug it, and I was like, that's weird.
Snake outfit.
That snake outfit was great.
I was annoyed.
I was sad that we lost it.
Annoyed at how much I didn't like that. I was like,
perhaps the Noid should have avoided me. Nathan 2099. What Marvel DC event do you want adapted into a movie? I mean,
what Marvel DC event?
Kraven's Last Hunt would be a cool movie.
Yeah,
Secret Wars would be great. Either of them.
Every event that I would want them to do already has to you need too much build up for it.
It's true.
Hearts of Darkness.
Oh, that's just a movie.
I just want that.
Pop Culture Guy 3000. Has anyone here?
There's another one.
Oh, at what X-Men centric event would you like as a movie? I thought it was just a duplicate.
No, someone else already mentioned it, but just start with Krakoa.
Yeah.
Just start there.
I mean, I think you need to build a Krakoa, but
no, I'm just saying, start with the beginning of Krakoa.
Oh yeah.
Just be like, hey, we're here. While you slept, the earth changed.
That's true.
We're here now.
That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be a great opening for the X-Men in the MCU. While you slept, the world changed. Charles Xavier's like, hi, we're all here. Eat me. Yeah. Fatal Attractions would be stupid. I wouldn't want that. I guess like Mutant Massacre or something. Pop Culture Guy 3000. Has anyone here said Greg Land is the perfect artist for the Roxxon propaganda Thor comic? Does he know why he was hired? I don't know. I don't think so. But that is, I mean, that's Ewing, right? So it's like he knew. Joseph Powell. Speaking of Supergirl, Millie Alcock has been officially cast. Thoughts? Oh, I didn't know that. They officially cast the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and it's I believe it's the Game of Thrones chick. So all right. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know who she is. Actually, I think she's from House of the Dragon, but I didn't watch either of those. Sorry, I didn't watch either of those freaking shows, so I don't know. I've never seen her act in my life. I never had a dog in this hunt. I didn't know.
Okay.
So I hope it works out.
Me too. I like this book a lot.
Don't F it up.
The book, it's just literally a scene 1, page 1. Open
the book. Yeah, storyboard. Your storyboard artist is literally Bilkis Everly.
It's already done. Just do that. I know you won't because you're Hollywood and you've got a real problem with that.
Yeah, Hollywood. We're creative too. Damn it.
Yeah, you are. You make all sorts of original movies. When it's based off of something else,
just make that.
Just make the tweaks where you need to for the different media. But other than that, just follow the book. It's not that long.
No, I'm creative too. Yeah. I hope it's good. We'll see.
Me too.
Mordecai, finding it what finding out what Roxxon Presents Thor is and finding out that Greg Land is on art feels like a rib on him. It makes me want to read it because of that. Yeah, I can't believe I dropped this book before I got to that point. That's so funny. Brandon Foley, do you guys go to Fan Expo in Philly? We've been to Fan Expo in Philly, but we do not go to Fan Expo in Philly.
Yes.
Not for any particular reason, just because Philly's like 2.5 hours away. It's just a pain in the ass. Deathman 00789, what DC Magic focused comics would you recommend? I've liked both Justice League Dark and plan and read Spurrier's Hellblazer. Thanks for what you do.
Well, that no, no, Spurrier is perfect. You know what? As much as obviously you can go back and grab some other Hellblazer stuff, but if you want to read more modern, but like otherwise, head back, pick up Ennis's, pick up Delano's, grab some Sandman. You will not be upset.
Exactly.
You will not be upset.
Yeah.
Read the first volume, then read the second one.
It's not in trade, but you can also check out DeMatteis's Dr. Fate series.
Oh, yeah.
Or his The Spectre series.
Yeah.
I think Tom Mandrake drew some of that stuff, so it looks dope. You could also read Ennis's The Demon series, which was ridiculous.
Did we say specifically for DC? Was that?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, good. I was just making sure. Wait, am I dropping the ball here?
Like, there's magic stuff in there too.
Oh,
like
DC Magic. Okay.
Yeah, DC Magic. I'm trying to think. Starman. The one where he looks like Harry Potter.
There's also, I haven't read it, but I flipped through it. But if you're interested in like Madame Xanadu, there's a Xanadu comic you could grab.
That miniseries, yeah. So there's some comics. Xanadu. I miss the. I wish that the Mall, the America. What's it called? The Mall of America?
Yeah.
No, the American Dream.
Yeah.
I wish the American Dream was still called Xanadu. It would make it feel more because it is so silly. That mall is so ridiculous, and I like that it was called Xanadu for a minute. So let's recommend some comics that come out this week that you think you should check out.
Let us do that.
Batman Superman: The World's Finest, annual number 1 or annual 2024 because they don't number them anymore because they don't put them out frequently enough. Whatever. I'm reading it. World's Finest is a great book. Avengers Twilight number 2 is dropping. Love this series.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy. And so I like that.
Sound like I meant it, but I did.
Skybound's Duke number 2 is coming out soon. And when I say soon, I mean like literally tomorrow. Batman Off-World number 3 is a book I love, and you should check that out as well. And Trinity Special number 1 is dropping. That's going to be obviously a special about Trinity.
Cool.
So check that one out as well. I believe those are all of mine. So,
did you see this cover?
Oh, for King Spawn 30?
It just reminds me of like
of what it used to be.
Yeah, like old images.
Yeah, it's great.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Right?
Doesn't that look like old? Like
I've heard good things about this issue, so I guess I will also read King Spawn 30.
I just was like, I was very like drawn to that.
Yeah, I've heard good things about this. I love Sam and Twitch.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I might pick up Wolverine number 2 for the Saber-tooth, or sorry, number 42, part 2.
Saber-tooth War 2. I'm sorry.
Because I don't know.
Well, because Ben Percy, you've been reading Ben Percy's Wolverine book the whole damn time.
No, I haven't. Wolverine was the one I've been going in and out of. X-Force, I've been going in and out of. Like those two, I've been like, all right, I'm in on it.
Yeah,
maybe not.
That's true.
Victor Lavelle and Ben Percy. This just didn't. I know a lot of people were here for it, but again, like I totally get why this book is coming out because it. For a lot of folks, it's like, why is this happening? It doesn't feel like it's connected to this. I think it's just an opportunity for people who are not interested in what's going on with Krakoa to tell a dope, like Saber-tooth story.
But what if Wolverine and Ghost Rider were teaming up? Then it had nothing to do with Krakoa anyway. Would you read it then? I think you did.
Yeah, we did that already.
Mm-hmm.
We did that for sure. Who's doing this? Maybe I'll check out Dead X-Men. We'll see. We'll give it a shot. Why not? So,
I don't know.
It's a Fall of the House of X one, so I have to at least read the first one.
Yeah.
So
Bernard Chang's drawing it.
Yeah, Bernard Chang's drawing it. So is Sharf's drawing it. His name comes beforehand.
Maybe my bad.
Maybe they're both doing it. I don't know. And Steve Fox writing it. But hey, it's another Fall of the House of X, so I'm going to have to go and
look at it.
I have to at least open my eyeballs and look at it.
It's true
for certain.
Yeah.
I don't know if there has to be something else for me. What is happening?
It doesn't have to be.
No, it does. What's going on? Is this a 4th week?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh no, it is. It secretly is.
Yeah.
Neat.
Neat.
I will find something else to read, everybody.
Yeah.
I can't just read just those.
Well, maybe not.
What do you mean?
I mean, you could read. You could read a trade. You know.
Oh, I could. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I could. I think I have to catch up on Batman Off-World. I don't think I read the second issue.
Well, that shouldn't be hard.
It's only
Because 3 issues and it reads like
fine.
fast.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a fast read. But we want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us. I want to make sure that we got every super chatter we did, and we did. So thank you so much for sponsoring today's show. All you super chatters, we do appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. And of course,
week, not 4th. There's usually 4 weeks. Thank you.
Yeah. But we want to thank you so much. Before you go, make sure to check out Tiffany on twitch.tv/ComicPop or youtube.com/@ComicPop Plays.
Yeah.
That's another channel. Again, if we want to put out our streaming videos, those have to go on another channel. So
no, those are too long.
They're too long.
I play for quite a long time, but I do stream over there, and it's usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But for the
Wednesday
next
we're busy.
Weeks, it's going to be Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Yep.
So look for me then.
Yeah. Check out the.
Should I play Suicide Squad, everybody? Should I try to team up with Benny on that one?
I don't know.
I don't even know if I can make that work.
I don't think so. We'll see.
I don't know.
But but check that out. And of course, stay tuned for more. This channel dropped a ton of videos last week. Tomorrow we're dropping a fun conversation that Tiffany's happening with the creative team of The Hunger and the Dusk. So keep an eye out for that video as well.
Hooray.
And we'll see you guys next time with another episode. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye, everybody.
Bye.